Wednesday. I know I'm a little bit late, but you know how it is. At times, you can't fight the tiredness. At times, you just can come on when you feel like. But happy Wednesday, guys. Back again with another topic, guys. So now, have you ever heard this one? Too ill to stand trial, too ill to come to trial after all of these sex charges, too ill to come to trial, too ill to come to trial. This is the one, too ill. So, a Montreal billionaire Robert Miller, too sick for trial and sex charges, guys. All right? Okay? So, let's unpack this content quick and fast. All right? So, I'm going to read from the best of my ability. All right? It was the middle of the week, guys, and I'm so happy we made it. Wednesday, almost the end of the week. Hope you guys could join this conversation in regards of heading out, on your way out, on your way in, on your way to your work, on your way in from work, and all of those things. I also want to shout out the hardworking people that always out here on the grind working and just want a good content to listen to, and so many others. Okay? So let's unpack quick and fast. The criminal case against Montreal billionaire Robert Miller came to a halt on Tuesday as a Quebec Superior Court judge stayed sex charges against him. Justice Linda Carey announced her decision a day after the Crown agreed with a motion by the defense that Miller, who is suffering from Parkinson's disease, is too ill to stand trial on the 24 sex-related charges involving 11 women. Many of the complainants are minors when the alleged offenses occur. So why did they wait so long for this man to get so old? No, he can't come and stand trial. Could you imagine? So don't want this one get away basically with murder. Okay? In an oral decision, the Carré said that 81-year-old right to fair trial would be jeopardized if the legal proceedings continue. The medical evidence shows that the applicant's poor physical health would render him unable to participate meaningfully and that the trial process would cause significant harm to his health, the Clarion said. Oh my. The court says no other options but to follow the suggestion of both parties and will grant the application. Wowee. The founder of the global electronics distributor Future Electronics was arrested in May 2024 on 21 sex charges involving 10 complainants between 1994 and 2016. In December, 3 new charges were filed by the Crown for crimes alleged to have taken place in 1995 and 2000. Miller has denied the allegation and had So this is the man that have his electric company, okay? Miller has denied the allegation and had elected trial by judge and jury. A trial would have lasted up to 3 months, according to the prosecution. In April's Miller lawyers sued a state of proceeding, arguing that the client was not well enough to stand trial. The court took into the consideration evidence presented by both parties, including 13 medical reports and a Crown-appointed expert who confirmed a trial would be impossible given the advanced state of Mr. Miller's illness. Oh no. The judge the judge outlined a number of uncontradicted facts. The accused is frail, 81-year-old suffering from most advanced stage of Parkinson's disease. In a degenerative illness, there's no hope for a cure, which that is right. Miller has been bedridden since 2022 and requires nursing care for all his needs, with medication administered every 90 minutes. So every hour, this one has to have medication. Mighty God. Every hour. Really? Okay. Anyways, the carrier stressed that stay is not an acquittal, but a permanent end to the court process. Apart from his apparent health problem, he also limited his ability to aid his own defense. His communication skills are very limited, 4 words at a time. The carrier said he cannot make complete sentence. His speech is fragmented. He is unable to write. Oh no. Miller appeared virtual at the hearing on Tuesday but was not visible on the screen. On Monday, the prosecutor recognized that Miller's constitutional rights under Section 7 and 11 of the Charter would be infringed if a trial would take place. Postponement wasn't an option as his condition will only worsen. Dominique, chief prosecutor for the Montreal region, spoke to reporters on Tuesday at the courthouse on behalf of the province prosecution service. He said that the civil case against Miller would continue, as would the other criminal case, its way through the court system. Making its way through the court system, guys, okay? In June 2024, Montreal police announced they had arrested a 67-year-old woman described as an alleged accomplice of Miller. Therese T. Futas was arrested on a warrant for procuring sexual services in connection to one of Miller's alleged victims. Potvin paid tribute to the courage of the alleged victims who came forward and called the situation exceptional, encouraging victims for sexual violence not to be deterred by the result of the case. They can hold their heads high. They were believed, and their determination was certainly not in vain. Well, we can't say that they really believe. The police believe them, and it couldn't be no trial because this man is frail and this man is sick and this man take medication every hour and this man cannot talk only a few words. That's why. So it's not that they're believable. It has to be believable when it's done in court and the trial come and say, okay, he's guilty of that sort. Okay? Anyhow, guys. They can hold their heads high. They were believed, and their determination was certainly not in vain. Potvin said, had a trial been possible, we remain convinced that the testimony and the evidence gathered during the investigation would have definitely supported a reasonable prospect of conviction. Miller was initially investigated by Montreal police in 2008 and 2009, but the allegations were deemed unfounded by the Crown. Because he's a billionaire. That's why the police didn't even fight, allegedly. Delphine Marger, the attorney who prosecuted the criminal case against Miller, said that the decision to lay charges should not be taken lightly. That's what I'm saying. And if a Crown prosecutor is not satisfied that she or he could meet his burden in court, then we cannot charge. So my impression is, from a Crown perspective, we have done our job. The case was reopened in the aftermath of a Radio Canada and a CBC investigation in February 2023 that alleged Miller gave cash and gifts to minors in exchange for sex between 1994 and 2006. He has denied those allegations. Miller is facing a number of civil lawsuits in Quebec and has been fighting those. His lawyers included a class action that was greenlit by the Quebec Superior Court earlier this year. So I will shout out pourquoi in French means why. So why did they take so long? Why did they take so long to lock up this man? These charges was from 2008, stemming from 2009, stemming to all the way up into the 2020s. Okay? So why did they take so long to lock up this man? Now that this man is frail, now this man cannot go to court because this man is sick like a dog. Why did they take so long to lock up this man? Why? Why did they take so long, guys, to lock up this man after they know that this man was getting up in his age, frail as in the word frail? Okay, guys? So at this point in time, I'm not happy with this one because when you really think about it, these things were happening from 2008 onwards and stuff. And now this man is too frail, has Parkinson's disease, and cannot stand trial. I never heard nothing like this in my life, where they took so long to charge this man and this man can't stand trial. So let's unpack.
Tried on 24 charges of Robert Miller appeared from his hospital bed, paralyzed and buried.
So basically, this man is in his hospital bed, guys, and this man is basically
To talk. Judge Linda Carey confirmed that the man is too sick to be tried.
back up.
Robert Miller appeared from his hospital bed, paralyzed and barely able to talk. Judge Linda Carey confirmed that the man is too sick to be tried on 24 charges of sexual exploitation, sexual contacts, and obtaining sex for minors. She ordered a stay of proceedings.
La preuve faite devant la cour a révélé que M. Miller est effectivement atteint du Parkinson's.
The court heard that Miller suffers from the most advanced stage of Parkinson's, and he demands a level of care that would prevent him from attending his trial, he says. It's a major setback for the prosecution. It was planning to prove that Miller sexually exploited girls as young as 14 in exchange for money and expensive gifts.
Yes, we meet with the plaintiff, we explain the situation. That is our job as Crown Prosecutor, to make sure the plaintiffs are informed and that we are available if they have any questions about what is going on in the file.
The judge was careful to say the stay of proceedings was not an acquittal. But private investigator John Westlake says the case should have been prosecuted years ago.
I told you.
Miller was in perfect health.
I said so.
It was all there. The evidence was there. From the very beginning of this thing years ago in 2009, we still don't understand why.
Told you.
He was never charged and brought to court years ago.
Westlake was hired by Miller's ex-wife in 2006 when she began to suspect her husband was sleeping with minors. At the time, he was the owner of Point Claire's Future Electronics. Westlake says the case was presented to investigators, but the prosecution back then didn't think it had enough to convict Miller. The case was revived after Radio-Canada aired an investigative report in 2023.
Lots of families, male, female daughters, who have been involved in this stuff, they're going to suffer. And in the future, coming up, there are other children that are going to be swayed into this kind of nonsense.
Miller is still facing a multi-million-dollar class action suit from the plaintiffs, and the prosecution hinted it could still lay additional charges against people accused of being accessories to the alleged crimes. But as far as Miller is concerned, he's unlikely to ever face criminal charges again.
But I'm very disappointed that the case is basically now closed.
Stefan June, CTV News.
So now you guys hear it for yourself. So this privileged billionaire out here exchanging gifts to 14-year-olds, molest them and all. 11 women, okay, came. It's about 24 sex-related charges. 11 women, and many of the complainants were minors when this alleged offense occurred. All allegedly, people. His wife is the one that hired a private investigator, when she suspect her own husband possible sleeping with children or troubling and harassing minors. So because all this time, to me, this shows you how privileged some people are. Because why take so long from 2008 and so on? Why take so long to prosecute this man? And now this man can't go to trial because he's old and frail and sick, as how they cook up this whole situation. So now he cannot stand trial. So the charges basically go away. The only thing you can do is just sue him civil at that point in time. Okay, guys? So if you guys never heard about this content, I'm here to share this content with you guys. Moreover, because at the end of the day, these stories are all here and we don't come and talk about it that much. Okay, guys? So I want you guys to understand fully what I was talking about in this situation. Fully about this case. Okay?
Okay, we also do have some breaking legal news here at home in Canada with the arrest today of Montreal.
So he was arrested, guys. Okay? So he was arrested. All right? He was arrested. And after he was arrested, the case keep on going on and on and on and on and on till now. Basically, they're saying now that he can go to trial because this man is very terminal ill and he cannot face trial. He only can say a few words and he needs a nurse 24/7 or he needs care 24/7 and on. Commercial. I mute you guys because it's the commercial, guys. But like I said, he cannot stand trial now. Okay? He cannot stand trial now because this man basically, they claim that he's ill and he cannot stand the trial now. So therefore, with all those 24 charges, he cannot stand.
Here at home in Canada with the arrest today of Montreal tech billionaire Robert Miller. He is accused of multiple counts of sexual assault against underage girls. The charges follow a year-long police investigation after a CBC Radio-Canada report that Robert Miller paid several young girls for sex. Fifth Estate's Mark Kelly has been following this story. He joins us now. Mark, take us through these charges against Miller.
Yes, Sarah, it was indeed a surreal moment as the Montreal police were holding a news conference in Montreal to unveil the charges against Miller. It was happening at the same time that the verdict was coming down in the Donald Trump case. So you can imagine from a news standpoint what we were trying to deal with. But the explosive charges that came from Montreal police included 21 charges against him, including charges of sexual assault involving 10 women, 8 of them who were minors at the time. The alleged offenses occurring over a period spanning 2 decades. Just a staggering account that came forward, that a story that we had been following at the Fifth Estate for some time, but the police had not been following until our report came forward. So it was quite an afternoon. Now, it also should be revealed that some of these counts, if he's found guilty, could result in him being jailed 14 years in prison. And it should also be said that there are still, the investigation against him is still, into him is still open, and they're wondering, police saying that other people may be coming forward with their own accounts of what happened with Miller.
Mark, I've watched those reports that we did for the state, and for anybody who is watching right now and who hasn't seen them, I believe they are available on the GEM app, and they're definitely worth watching because some great journalism there. You and the team at Enquête did reports that included people who said that they were abused by Miller, and then, as you say, the police even investigated that. Why do you think it has taken so long?
Yeah, it was interesting because Montreal Police, their child sexual exploitation unit, actually opened an investigation into Miller back in 2009. They interviewed, from what we could uncover, they interviewed at least 10 women who said that they were sexually abused by Miller, recruited for sex with him, paid in cash and hockey bags stuffed with gifts. But at that time, Montreal Police didn't decide to lay any charges because it was believed that the Crown Prosecutor's Office felt that they didn't have enough evidence what they felt could guarantee a conviction in the case. So it was dropped. Then we come forward with our own report where we had interviewed some 6 women. They told us their story. We'd interviewed a private investigator who had been following Miller for weeks. We interviewed the head of a security at a posh Montreal hotel, who told us how she saw this parade of young women going into a room that was rented by Robert Miller. After that point, Montreal Police reopened their investigation. Other women start coming forward with their stories, and that culminates with the charges that were made public today.
So Miller, I understand, knew he was under investigation.
Yep.
How is he, or is he responding to these charges?
Yeah, he did just after the Montreal Police News Conference late this afternoon. He issued his own statement. Again, he says, reiterating his innocence in this case. He said all along, he said after the CBC Radio-Canada report that this was just a malicious attack on his reputation, and his position remains he's innocent, and all these attacks are financially motivated at his expense. Now, he's 80 years old. He's in frail health. Although he was arrested today, he wasn't taken into custody. He's expected to appear in police headquarters next on July 3rd. But as I said, once again, there could be more arrests in this case. There could be more charges in this case. The investigation is still open, and police are encouraging other potential witnesses or victims to come forward.
As I said earlier, you can, if you haven't seen these.
So can one person be so privileged? So in 2008, go on, police investigate this man, let this man go. The reason why the police jump on it again is because, you know, Fifth Estate always have everybody business like how I always have everybody business over here. So Fifth Estate started to investigate. And when it came on the news now, the police jump in and say, wait a minute, there's something wrong. Remember, I said to you, it's his wife blow the whistle and hired a private detective to follow this man to investigate her own husband because she felt that the husband was going away and harassing young girls and molesting young girls allegedly. So imagine you have a wife, imagine you're a billionaire and the wife didn't even put money in front of the children. The wife said, you know what? I suspect that my husband is a pervert, so I am going to hire a private detective. Private detective continued to follow this man. Private detective found out that this man is a pervert, exchanging gifts with 14-year-olds for sex. Seriously. Not only that, the security guards at the hotel blow the whistle that he see many young girls coming in and out the units or the suite. Okay, guys? So now they waited so long. He's 88 somehow, 80 something of years of age, and now he's too frail, bedridden, can't come to court, can't say 4 much words, need medication every 90 minutes, and all of that sort. So now he cannot stand trial of the 24 charges that he has. So the billionaire won up over this police. The billionaire won up on the investigator. The billionaire won up on the Fifth Estate. The billionaire put a whole big wool over her eyes. Because right now he walked and almost ready because he's sick. He's going to pass away anytime soon. Okay, guys? So I had to come and shout out about that content, so to speak, of this man and his ism and schism in regards of the sex trafficking case and all of that. Okay? Now, let's go back some more and unpack some more of the story. In other words, okay? So let me unpack some more stuff so you guys could hear the full detail of this man and his pervert ways. Give me a second. If there's a commercial, I have to put you guys on mute because I will get a copyright strike. So anytime you guys hear me mute and you guys don't hear me, I just put you guys on mute because I don't want a copyright strike with the commercial in the background. So let's unpack.
It's the culmination of a police investigation that has lasted a year and a half.
The Montreal Police has just arrested Mr. Robert Miller,
a reclusive billionaire accused of sex crimes against 10 alleged victims between 1994 and 2016.
At the time of the events, some of these victims were minors. A total of 21 counts were authorized by the DPCP against Mr. Miller.
Police have not revealed the identities of the complainants. In 2023, Radio-Canada's Enquête and the Fifth Estate broadcast the stories of 6 women
What did
who
I
said
say?
a wealthy businessman had paid them for sex acts when they were minors.
Who can you tell? Especially at that age. I wasn't about to go see my mother like, hey, Mom, I really don't feel well. I slept with an old man for money. Can you help me?
Some women had spoken to police. 15 years ago, Robert Miller was even investigated for similar allegations. The billionaire's private security firm, located within his company's headquarters, had even been raided.
See?
No charges were ever laid. One woman who says she was victimized by Miller and asked not to be identified told CBC she was relieved by today's announcement.
I'm grateful to see that Robert Miller will be accused because that should have been done like years ago.
The businessman is also the target of a class action lawsuit, which has not yet been authorized, but includes around 50 alleged victims and 3 civil suits claiming nearly $30 million in damages. Robert Miller disputes all of these proceedings and has consistently denied all allegations.
So, Bridget, we know Miller is due in court in early July. In the meantime, what's your sense of what we can expect in this case?
Well, in their press conference today, police did say that this investigation is not over and that there could be more charges. They also encouraged other potential victims to come forward. As for Miller, if he is found guilty, he would face jail time, but we know that he is 80 years old, has advanced Parkinson's disease.
What did I say?
He did put out a statement at the end of today saying that the accusations were motivated by financial gain, and he reiterated his innocence.
All right, thank you, Bridget. Bridget Noel in Montreal.
Thank you.
Could you imagine, guys? So his security firm was raided. He was investigated from in the past, but yet still at the end of the day, when you think about it, this man was not charged until way after, when Fifth Estate started to investigate these kind of stories, these kind of women. Then the police reopened the case and said, we're going to give you 24 counts of sexual charges that 11 women brought across the board. So let me shout out privilege, privilege, privilege. Privilege, privilege, privilege. Privilege, privilege, privilege. Shall I shout? So you're a billionaire. Billionaire, not a millionaire, you know. Billionaire. Sleeping with girls, exchanging money with girls allegedly. Wife thought there was something wrong in her gut. Wife thought that the husband possibly was cheating, and the wife decided to hire a private investigator. Well, he's a billionaire, so basically his money. And go hire a private investigator to follow this pervert. And when they followed this pervert, they found out this pervert was really a diddler. When they found out this pervert was really a pervert. Okay, so all of these are allegedly because, as you know, he cannot stand trial. Trial is supposed to start July coming. As you guys know, he cannot start trial because he's frail, he's sick, and he's incompetent to come to court, the way I see it. Okay, guys? So at the end of the day, people, this is a sad one. All the victims now just have to go and sue him civil because at the end of the day, I mean, what are you going to do? This man can't come to court, so you would have to only sue him civil, right? You can only sue this man civil, and we're not sure when you sue him civil. At the end of the day, what's going to happen? At the end of the day, when it comes, is he gonna pass away by that time? Is he gonna is he gonna pass on by the time they're ready to get that money? And if his estate gonna grant all that wishes when it comes to his money of all that sort, guys? Okay. So if you didn't know about the situation and the story, well, here we are, full pledge. Billionaire got himself in trouble, and at the end of the day, not gonna stand no time in jail because he's too frail. And these situations stem all the way from 2008 until almost recent, they claim, and all of that, but now man is too frail and ill to stand trial. Okay? He was supposed to be locked up long time ago. So let's unpack.
Accused of a sex crime will not be tried after all. That's what the judge announced earlier today. Well, reasons, as you can understand. So with me to discuss this, Nicole Gibault, retired judge. Good evening.
Okay? So you hear, so he cannot stand trial. He cannot stand trial. This occurred from 2008 and so on. 24 charges of sexual assault. 11 women came and said when I was 14, this rich billionaire gave me money for you know what, for the sex. Okay, guys? Police in Montreal investigate this man from 2008. His whole security firm was dismantled and all of that was raided. No charges. Okay, 1 second. So it was commercial, okay? Commercial. Sorry.
Robert Miller, accused of a sex crime, will not be tried after all. That's what the judge announced earlier today. Well, for health reasons, as you can understand. So with me to discuss this, Nicole Gibault, retired judge. Good evening, Nicole.
Good evening, Marie-Christine.
Of course, this is far from the outcome hoped for the victims, but we still have to be careful. It's not an acquittal, as the judge clearly stated this morning.
Yes, and she insisted, it's not an acquittal, it's not a conviction, but we can very well understand the disappointment and frustration of the alleged victims. Why? Because since 2008-2009, we're talking about some who had reported the crime, there was an investigation, but it didn't work out. The DPCP didn't file charges. They don't really have an explanation. Was there enough evidence? Because there wasn't enough evidence, was there enough? Of everything?
He was a billionaire, that's why.
That's where the frustration lies. What happened in 2008 and 2009 is really bad. Well, it's quite special because 17 years ago, would he have been able to get through?
Okay.
Yes, in any case, he would have been in better shape than he is today. In parallel with all of this, Nicole, with this stay of criminal proceedings, Robert Miller is also facing civil actions, and the rules are different there.
Absolutely. It's a class action for $250 million. But there are also 4 personal civil actions because you don't have to join a class action. So, he has 4 others. And obviously, it's already started. It's already been granted. Obviously, there is an appeal on the procedure.
Keep on listening.
But the prosecutors have already started to obtain written examinations, questions because it had been granted by the court. So, they question him at his home. Who arrives? But Nicole, what happens if in a case like this an accused, a respondent dies?
Listen.
I was listening to the lawyer for the ladies
That's the
this
question I was
morning in
asking.
the class action lawsuit who says that he is continuing against the estate because obviously it has already been initiated.
I told you.
It has already started, so it continues. They will try to execute with obvious...
So did you hear what I said earlier? So if he dies because he's so frail, is the estate going to be sued? I thought so. And now they say that they're going to go after the estate. So let's see if these victims that never got a day in court, only had their allegation heard, weren't sure if their allegation was believable because it wasn't, the trial supposed to come up in July, and this man is too frail to end up in court. This man is too frail to talk. This man has to get medication. This man is bedridden. But in 2008, this man was out here strong, sleeping with young girls, allegedly. Okay, guys, let's continue to unpack.
Judgment if they obtain a judgment in their favor against the estate. So yes, it can continue.
A quick word now, of course. We will follow this case very closely. A quick word now on the trial of the 5 former Canada junior team players because the defense has been presenting its closing.
So that's what it is, guys. So all this time, if you guys don't know, a lot of them over here, billionaire out here, raping and getting a pass. But the only person we really see in court is our kind getting locked up for sexual assault. When you have this big billionaire here, been a sexually assaulting people from 2008, 2006 and up, and I would say allegedly, was supposed to stand trial in July, but too frail, too sick, get medication every 90 minutes, and all of that sort cannot come to court. Not only that, if he kills over and die tomorrow morning, they would have to go and through his estate to get the pain and suffering money. Oh, Father God, where have you been? So this billionaire has the security company raided, no charge. End up get questioned by the police earlier in the years, no charge. Montreal or Quebec police never locked him up until Fifth Estate started to investigate, started to hear this thing on the TV. So the police them would have came under fire. So they decided to reopen this case. Say who now? Say what? Only over here, guys. You guys will hear these kind of content. Okay? So when you're privileged, you're privileged, you're privileged, you're privileged. When you're privileged, you're privileged, you're privileged, you're privileged. I should shout. Okay, guys? Running on with the content quick and fast because I'm sure you guys have to go and I have to go myself. Although I came on late, guys. You know, at times, you know, you can't fight the tiredness, guys. And at times you can't fight the sleep, right? But anyways, nevertheless, all right? So after all of that, guys, after all of that, guys, all right? After all of that, let's unpack. So you remember Alice. Remember I said to you guys that Alice, the braider that has 1 million and change follower. 1 million and change for a follower, not doing mix up, just doing here and chew. Okay, 1 second. So that was commercial. So anytime you hear I mute you guys, it's commercial, guys. Okay? So don't watch no face. All right. So because I don't want a copyright strike. And if I get a copyright strike, then the channel will go because then therefore you guys won't get no content. Okay? So we have to be mindful. So we're talking about this young lady here. So yesterday I gave you guys a piece of the situation. Now we want to hear from the horse's mouth. So imagine that you have 1 million. Let me show you guys. I don't want you guys to think I'm playing. Guys, look, let me take her off for a second. Guys, she has 2.61 million subscribers. Okay, guys? Seriously, all right? Okay? And they invited her for an award. Okay? So if you have 2 point something million subscribers and you're charging almost maybe $1,500 to do a braid style. Cause remember, girl is charging her money now, you know. Before, girl wasn't charging that much. But from she end up with the brat wife, did her hair, and all of these people are running in. She's charging mad money for the hair. We also had an issue in the past where a girl came and cursed and carried and had to take out the braids because Alice took too much money and the braids was not done. So, you know, Alice is not charging $150 or $300 for braids. She's charging a lot. But anyhow, you know that there was an award for these people, these content creators, they claim, to go get an award. And that's the award she has in her hand. They wait till the room was empty to give her the award. And remember, when it comes to France, there's lots of racism in France. So I don't know why she thinks she would have go over France and these people would have a subtle behavior. You know what I mean? I don't understand. You know what I mean? She should call this award what? She should call this out. She shouldn't even take the award because the award at this point in time didn't even make no sense as person who have millions of followers. You know what I mean? The reason why they recognize you because you're out here. So anyways, people, let's hear from the horse's mouth, okay?
Hello guys, I just want to say thank you so much to all my beautiful supporters and also my family and my husband for supporting me through this journey that I'm in as a social media content creator. And because of you all, I was able to obtain this award. So you guys, I was invited in France. I'm here right now in Cannes. And I was selected from Wimba award. They invited me to come in and collect my award just to basically value me.
Value you.
For
Yeah,
being
okay.
a best content creator. And you guys, I really didn't want.
I don't mean to interject. Does the Caucasian people really value us? You have to value yourself. You have millions of followers. They don't value you. Value in France, there's too much racism in France for a black woman to come out and say people in France are value she. Are you serious? We're gonna get to France sooner or later because we know France is racist. We know this. It came out on the news many times. So she went over there because she was gonna get an award. She thought that it would be subtle. No, these people are subtle racism right there. Okay, guys, let's continue.
Of the day, I feel like when something is wrong, when something is good, or something is right. So basically, I actually left my family, my children.
Your son graduation.
I left them back to USA, and I flew all the way to France.
Left her son graduation that the son is going to graduate all of that class only once. To go get Caucasian award that left her out there like a dog. Could you imagine? Black woman, what is more important to you guys? An award like that? Or be at a place where it cannot be outed in your mind and soul that you were at your son's graduation? Anyways, unpack.
In Cannes, because I was selected to come in and collect my award. But unfortunately, the way things went, it was not okay. It was not good. It was very
racist.
I don't even know how I can explain to you guys. But for those of you that have been watching me, you know how my mood always be. You know how my energy is. And if I'm not able to share that energy with you guys while I'm holding this award, which means my heart just fell in parts. That means I am not happy. That means yeah, that means I am not happy. So you guys, I left everything behind. I left everything. I left my family, my children. I left my business. I left everything. I canceled so many of my appointments. You guys know I'm a hairstylist.
They didn't even pay for her trip, hotel, nothing.
That's how I live my life.
Good for you. Whatever you get, you deserve.
I took my flight
Ridiculous.
to come all the way to France in Cannes to be embarrassed in front of people.
People don't do their research out here, bro.
I didn't want to say, I didn't want to even make this video. I didn't want to, but again, you guys are waiting for me to post to let you know how things went.
Never went good.
But all I can tell you is, unfortunately, it didn't really go well. It didn't go well.
And you still take the award.
Thank you.
Watch, look. Look, it's empty. See, everybody's gone, people. Look. See there?
With over 10 million TikTok subscribers.
See, she's cursing. See? See how empty it is? Nobody there. Listen to the man. Listen.
Her followers, to the extent that they are growing by the thousands.
She's crying.
As we speak.
Oh no.
Welcome to the stage.
Look.
The winner of the Multi-Platform Influencer Award at the Weaver 2025 Awards. Give it up for Alice McKendy!
See? The whole place is empty. You're going to hear what the man says. Listen. Oh, sir. Listen.
Alice, welcome to the stage. It would be great to hear a few words from you.
Listen.
All I can say is thank you so much, Wimba, for never seeing this event.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alice McKendy, our winner of the Multi-Platform Influencer.
See? Look at the woman laughing. Look at the woman. Look there. Look there. Look.
That's the end of the show.
See?
Right. So, now we have to go.
See?
That's it. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I know.
See? At times you have these African people, at times they're racist themselves. Now hold on my mouth and talk. A lot of times you as a black person, you see a Nigerian and depends on where they're from. There are times they're racist at times, and at times they only deal with their own. You'll be at a workplace and you see them and they give you the most attitude. They're not into you. They give you the most attitude and stuff like that. And they're more for the Caucasian people. So I guess now she would learn that at the end of the day, it's not everything glitter as a gold is gold. Okay, guys? So it's kind of sad, but what can I say? At times you got to do your research when it comes to the racism in France, and especially the racism that are happening now. People, you're not, you know what I mean? You're not keen, you're not, when it comes to racism as a person of color, it's always out here full pledge, guys. So at the end of the day, when you think about it, I guess she should have understand. And I just feel like, say, she should have do her research when it comes to when it comes to France, because France is a place where racism lies right there and then. You know what I mean, guys? So at the end of the day, I a little bit feel sorry for her a little bit. But at the end of the day, when you think about it, you gotta be mindful, and you got to be mindful, okay? So from there, guys, let's talk about some other things, all right? One second. So I don't know if you guys remembered this situation in France. This situation in France where this man was basically in all the MPs. And the moment the French lawmaker shout out, go back to Africa. And this was in the parliament in the past. This was in the parliament in the past. So if that could happen in the parliament, see, racism MP shout, go back to Africa. That was in France. Okay? All right? Although France speak French, and we know that the French language belongs to Africa. But at the end of the day, when you really think about it, nobody cares. Not only that, when you talk about the fashion industry of the discrimination in France, it's a different situation. So let me unpack the story, what happened in the past in the MP office. And now you know how racist France is. If the MP can do that, the MP... Stop. 1 second. I had to mute you guys, okay?
French MPs applaud their colleague Carlos Bilongo, one day after this far-right deputy, Grégoire de Fournard, appeared to tell him to return to Africa during a parliamentary debate on migration. Fournard insists that he was referring to migrant boats and not Bilongo, with the French phrase he used allowing for a certain level of ambiguity.
You hear what he said? Go back to your country.
Many MPs were furious at his words, and the chamber was suspended by the presiding officer. On Friday, Fournard was banned from the assembly for 15 days and will only receive half of his parliamentary salary for the next 2 months.
Okay,
this is only
guys.
the second time a deputy has been excluded from the chamber in the history of the French Fifth Republic.
And the racism.
However, the French MPs applaud.
So if a French MP can shout to a next MP, go back where you're coming from. Why Alice maybe thought that they were going to sit down there, gave her royal treatment because she's a black content creator with 2-point-something million followers. Why would she think that those things are see fit when in France, even in the parliament, they're shouting, go back to your country? In the parliament, they're shouting, go back to your country. Okay? Let's unpack a little bit more. Remember, in France, they erased the hidden black history in France, Let's unpack some more. Okay? 1 second. 1 second. 1 second, guys. 1 second, okay? Commercial.
obscured, casting a shadow
Listen.
over the rich tapestry of human existence. And even France tried to erase this hidden black history. France, a nation celebrated for its cultural treasures and historical importance, has a lesser-known side. Colonial expansion and the slave trade, eras of oppression and exploitation, frame this concealed history. France's global colonial operations left a complicated legacy of achievements and horrors. Despite this historical turbulence, its black population's contributions, difficulties, and cultural life were overlooked.
Okay.
This concealed black history was erased due to a complex interaction of social standards, political agendas.
So do I need to say anymore? Do I need to come and drag out that anymore? So if you already know the history of France, and if I was Alice and that content creator, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't even look. I would have said, thank you for the award, but no thanks. Thank you for the award, but no thanks. Okay, guys? Because we know the racism right here. Full pledge, okay? Let's unpack.
You are doing these amazing trips, and we heard of something that happened on the trip recently.
Listen, next racism
So our
here.
last brand trip, we went to the French Alps. It was the first country that we went to that wasn't like a black-dominated country, right? So we did Bermuda, which is an island that's like a black island.
Yeah.
We did Ghana, and then this is our third brand trip to the French Alps. And we took a group of influencers, and it was during Ramadan. And so a couple of our influencers were fully like clothed, wore hijab, and we went to a spa. And at the spa, we were racially profiled. Like,
Told
they
you.
were like, nah, they can't be in here.
See?
And then after that, then they were like, we're gonna call the police. on
Yep,
you guys if you-
that's France for ya.
That quick.
Okay,
We're
then.
gonna have so much fun in jail. What? Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Okay? So when it comes to Alice's situation, you got to do your research. You got to do your research. Sometimes these people reach out to you to discriminate against you, bruh. These people might already made up allegedly. They're all biased allegedly and all of those things. So we got to be mindful. Okay, guys? So if you never know the history about France, then I gave you the history about France and how racist France could be at times. So when you see Alice went up there to go get that prize and they embarrass her like that, didn't even apologize, didn't even put out an apology letter or anything, then you can't even say anything. Racism is here, full pledge as always. Okay, guys? So let's wrap up this live quick and fast because I got to go, okay? I had some other things to show you guys, but I'll come and speak to you guys another day tomorrow, okay? I'll speak to you guys about it another day. Let's unpack. So now we're going to talk about the Hockey Canada trial, the sexual assault trial. You know, it's closing arguments right now. We won't get back the verdict until sometime in July. So when the verdict comes, either guilty or not guilty, I will come and shout out that full pledge. Okay, guys? Quick and fast because I'm running. All right? What else I want to talk about? Okay? So right here, like I said, judge in trial of 5 hockey players in 2018 Hockey Canada World Junior Players set verdict date July 24. So when July 24 come around, guys, full pledge, full force, I'll be here like, guys, the verdict is in for the hockey players on July 24. The verdict is in, and this is the outcome, okay? So July 24 will be out here, front seat, seeing what the verdict of this hockey trial that I've been telling you guys about over the months or over the weeks, okay? Running on quick and fast, all right? From there, guys, we also, from there, we want to talk about this. So you know that this girl finished law school the other day. I shout out that Kim Kardashian finished law school and she was out here with her law degree and everything. Did you know that she studied without attending law school? Come now. How do you become a lawyer without going to law school? Hello? Hookups? Hello? Hi, hello? Hookups? So she got a deal? So she went and studied law school and went to law and have a law degree without attending law school. I know you could do studies online, but you still have to go sometime at the school, practical and all of that. So what can I say? They're rich and famous, so they have all the hookups, okay? Running on quick and fast, all right? Running on quick and fast. From there, guys, we want to talk about this. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift seek court protection from alleged stalker who believes she's the mother of his child. Oh no. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift seeks court protection from alleged stalker who believes she's the mother of his child. I never hear nothing like this in my life. Taylor Swift has taken legal action after Colorado man obsessive and delusional behavior crossed the line into danger. Okay, guys, running on. Okay, from there, guys, these are, like I said, these are the influencers that died yesterday. Okay, Finney and his wife and Manny, the Mexican guy, had some kind of problem. They claim some Manny was a racist. He's always shouting out racist words and all of these things, and they've been going at each other for the longest time, and he end up coming to kill them on the Las Vegas Strip that I showed you yesterday. So these are the two victims. The two YouTubers end up getting killed by a next YouTuber for bickering and back and forth on the internet for over a year now. Okay, guys? So I came and highlight that yesterday with you guys. So these are the victims, all right? So I just had to come shout that out. From there, we go to Housewife of Atlanta. Portia Simpson. As you know, Portia Simpson, Simon's husband, has been detained by ICE and deported by ICE because, as you know, he was charged for fraud and all of these things back in the days. And Portia did file for divorce, not even 2 years in the relationship, and all of these kind of things. I know the African businessman basically is in Africa, deported. See you, sayonara. Later, we'll come back on that story another day and unpack why he had the charges and unpack why he was deported. Okay, guys? So just running on quick and fast. Everybody business we have over here today while I'm running. Okay, guys? From there, we also want to discuss this. So, handbag burglars tunnel into a shop in 250 heists. So 250K heist. Handbag thief. Scammer them there. Thief them are out here. Gone with some luxury handbags. Tunnel all the way in the people them bag shop and say bag. Which one I have? Which one I need? Which one I'm going to sell? Which one I'm keeping? And gone with the people them bag. Handbag burglars tunnel into shop. Gone with 250K worth of bags. Oh no. Okay, guys? From there, we're running on quick and fast. From there, we're running on quick and fast. Let's unsum this part. Over 3 dozen bodies found in around Lady Bird Lake since 2002. So did you guys hear about that? All this time, there's been some serial killer, people are shouting, and we're not sure if it's really a serial killer out here. But all we know, guys, over 3 dozen. Okay, guys? Over 3 dozen. Let me find it for you. Over 3 dozen bodies found, guys, in a pond. Okay, so let's unpack that quick and fast while I jump off of this live. Okay, let's see if we could find it right here. All right, so let's unpack quick and fast. And if it's commercial, I'm just going to mute you guys as always, okay? Commercial. About buying or selling. I had to mute you guys, okay?
Lady Bird Lake deaths have caught people's attention with speculation surrounding the possibility of a serial killer, but investigators have found no reason to believe that.
Listen.
There have been at least 38 bodies found in or around Lady Bird Lake since 2022, according to data obtained by Fox 7. Of those, 30 were male. About 60% were between the ages of 30 and 49. Only 2 of them were teenagers, including the body found on Tuesday.
Another paddleboarder was here out on Lady Bird Lake and notified us that it appeared that an individual was deceased and floating on Lady Bird Lake.
While the latest body to surface in the lake has not been identified yet, Austin police believe it's likely the teenager who went missing on Sunday. He was paddleboarding and kayaking with his family. We're told he got off to stand in shallow waters, but unknowingly was near an underwater shelf, which is a sudden drop-off in the lake.
At some point during their paddleboarding session, one of the individuals went missing from their family.
He stepped or slipped off and never resurfaced. His backpack and life jacket were still...
So we don't need to drag it out. So over 3 dozen bodies found around Lady Bird Lake. People saying it's serial killer, but the police is playing down it and saying it's not a serial killer. They don't have no evidence of saying it's a serial killer. So if 3 dozen bodies found in around a lake for years now, what do you guys think it is? People are just dying and throwing themselves in the lake? Or people are just committing suicide and doing all of that? Seriously? Anyways, guys, run on quick and fast. Only over here. From there, guys, like I told you guys, when it comes to France, filmmakers warn against rampant racism in France as election approaches. So I've been telling you that France is racist and all of that. So when you think about that lady, like I said, she should have known better. Do your research. Don't go there, go collect an award from people, because racism is brewing. Racism was always around. And if you don't know, they told your black African brother in the MP parliament, go back to Africa. So you should know that if the MP, some of them racist, then what says you? And in the history of France, then you would know that France has this racist behavior attached to it, okay? Including with the slaves and all of that, all right? Anyways, I had to drop that in, people, because, you know, it comes how it goes, all right? At the end of the day, guys, we're going to move from here and we're going to drop it here. New York judge censored after erupting during school board meeting demanding his son to be valedictorian. So how do you storm in a school begging what your son's supposed to be? Don't they have to vote to be that? Don't they have to volunteer? Don't they have to vote? Don't the class have to vote? So this judge will have authority, this privileged man, going to the school to demand your son name valedictorian, sir? Look at him right there, guys. Look at this judge. Should lose your job on top of it. So that's how you go around and bully people for your kids, sir? Oh, no. So the judge have so much people to deal with in the courtroom. So much cases to deal with. The judge find himself at the people them school to bully the people them and demanding that his son be valedictorian. I never heard nothing like this in my life. But when you're privileged and you believe it's me, these are the things that happen even when you're a judge. Okay, guys? So kiss my teeth and pass. All right, guys? I had a bunch more stuff to tell you, but because I came on late, I got to run and I got to just leave it. So our case today, guys, was about this man, this big billionaire man, was sexual assaulting young girls at the age of 14, I would say, allegedly. Court case supposed to be up in July now, 2025. From 2006 so on, they claim say young girls came and tell the police that he was exchanging gifts because he's a billionaire. He owns an electric company and a security company. So apparently, you know, he was exchanging gifts allegedly with young girls of the youngest as 14 for gift and sexual assault them. He'll end up going to the police station in 2006, 2008. Police never charged. His security company end up getting raided. He was never charged. His wife is the one that hired a private investigator to go and investigate if this man is running around, either cheating or sleeping with young girls. She was so right. She found out by the private investigator that this billionaire, this pervert, was hunting for young girls. Not only that, the police kissed them teeth, police never fought until Fifth Estate came out with the story. And after Fifth Estate came out with the story, that's when they reopened this case, long after, when this man is 88 years old, on his bed, frail, Parkinson disease, can't talk, takes medication every hour. So now he cannot up to trial. He's not fit for trial. He's too ill for trial. So the charges are not stayed. The charges are stayed, but you cannot hold him accountable because he's too frail, only saying 2 to 3 words, bedridden, can't come to court. Oh my, for the victims. Not only that, there's a civil lawsuit happening now, but we're not sure if they're going to get it from his estate if this animal die, because you know how estates are, they will put up a big fight. So you think the outcome of these victims, I am not sure. It's a sad case, but what can we say? Wrapping up this case quick and fast now, man. Not only that, guys, the last content that we go into, let we go. The rum, ain't a big dancer. Come show me you're a big dancer. In the rum, ain't a big dancer. Come show me you're a big dancer. Oh no. U.S. feds target squash as a leader of a transnational gang. So in other words, transnational gang mean gang in a Jamaica, gang in America, yard dog a yard and dog abroad. Done a yard and done a yard. Done abroad and done a yard. Done a yard and done abroad. Not in Uncle Sam place. They will do you up and lock you up for life. So right now, this man would have to come and say some more stuff, or this man either have to go tell them where the bag of guns are if he knows, or maybe he have to go snitch on somebody allegedly, or of all of that sort allegedly. We're not sure what's gonna happen to Squash, but I just feel like these people sing so many gun songs. These people sing so many songs. So show me your company, I'll tell you who you are. And they claim that this man is talented. So they're not sure why this man always find himself in some kind of hot water if he's so talented at times. I'm not a fan of most of these gun reggae and these songs anyway, so it don't really matter to me. But at the end of the day, guy, when you really think about it, Squash and it should have know better and do better, because if you enter in the States, that the people them say there's no way that they could tell how you enter in the States and stuff like that, then you gotta be mindful at times, guys. Okay, so let's hear a little bit, if I could find a little bit of it, and then I will come and unpack it, and then I'm just gonna literally kiss my teeth and pass. So give me a second, okay? I'm gonna mute you guys.
Permit.
Listen.
On May 15, federal prosecutor not guilty to illegal possession of a modified weapon and possession of a concealed weapon without a permit. On May 15, federal prosecutors sealed a criminal complaint against Squash. Weeks later, on May 27, the sixth boss was given a trial date in Miami after attorneys had filed 24 motions on notices. That's when the feds swooped in, telling the judge in Miami of their intention to take over the case. The feds say Squash is known to law enforcement as an active member and leader of a transnational criminal organization that engages in various forms of criminal activity. They say the file on him dates back to 2017, when he was issued a tourist visa to enter the United States. Squash entered the U.S. on May 8, 2019, and left 2 days later. According to the court documents, his first run-in with the law in the U.S. occurred in 2023. At the time, Squash and 2 others were pulled over by officials from the Broward Sheriff's Office. During the traffic stop, it was discovered Squash had entered the U.S. illegally on January 20, 2021, without being inspected at any checkpoint. The authorities were told by an informant that Squash had entered the U.S. illegally via the border. Apparently, Squash, the so-called leader of the G-City gang, fled Jamaica after the gang became embroiled in a deadly feud with a rival gang. The feds say that conflict began in St. James and spilled onto the streets of Florida. Squash was handed over to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, where he was detained for nearly 2 months awaiting removal proceedings. The removal proceedings remain pending, but Squash was released on bond after he and an American citizen got married while he was in detention. The feds say that same one is the one who bought one of the guns that Squash was held with after a traffic stop in late February this year. The FBI say they have probable cause.
That's why more time they always say it's more time when a man don't fall, more time is the woman. Black woman, like really, these are all alleged anyway. But what are you helping him buying gun bout? These are allegedly. Seriously? So here you are trying to do your life, but here comes the woman beside you is almost, oh Jesus. I told you, black woman, a lot of times we are our downfall of our men because we encourage them in wrongs, allegedly. Mighty God, let's continue. Could you imagine?
The G-City gang fled Jamaica after the gang became embroiled in a deadly feud with a rival gang.
I back it up a bit.
That conflict began in St. James and spilled onto the streets of Florida. Squash was handed over to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, where he was detained.
I back it up, guys. I'm the one who back it up.
Awaiting removal proceedings. The removal proceedings remain pending, but Squash was released on bond after he and an American citizen got married while he was in detention. The feds say that same one is the one who bought one of the guns that Squash was held with after a traffic stop in late February this year. The FBI say they have probable cause for Squash to be charged with being an illegal alien in possession of a firearm and unlawful possession of a machine gun. Both charges carry maximum sentences of 10 years in prison, which could be extended to a mandatory minimum of 15 years in prison if there are 3 prior convictions. There is also the strong possibility of deportation if convicted. For the time being,
kiss me teeth and pass. Imagine that. Imagine all of that now. Imagine all of that. Oh, God. Anyways, wrapping up this life, kiss me teeth and pass. I have nothing to say because these people are bad people. So I refrain what I have to say. I put a muzzle on my mouth. Wrapping on, running on. Thank you for stopping by. It's a pleasure as always. Okay, guys? So let me just wrap up this live quick. Big up to those who always come and watch the content, okay? A big thank you for those who always watch the content, no matter what time I appear on the screen, okay? Big respect for those who always come, no matter what, and watch the whole content. I appreciate you, okay, guys? And at the end of the day, guys, to the people in my life who make me smile, love me, and support me and bring me joy, I really appreciate you. And for those who having a happy birthday when it comes, enjoy, but not too much. And for those who always here, no matter what, peace and love until we meet again.